Hello everyone. Uh, so today's topic is semaphores and operating system, an important topic. So we'll be looking at what is a semaphore, why to use it in the first place, various types of semaphores. There are mainly two, counting and binary. We'll be looking at the advantages and disadvantages, important terminologies like weight and signals. We'll also be looking at some questions so that we are able to hold onto a better grip of what we are learning. So let's start. First of all, whenever we look at any word, the first thing that comes into our mind is what is it and why to use it in the first place. Same with semaphores also. So we'll see why to use it and what it is. Semaphore is actually a method or a tool to prevent race condition. Race condition in an operating system, we get an advantages where multiple processes can access same resources or a same memory block, a common code. It is advantageous, but it also have a negative effect, that is the race condition might occur when multiple processes, especially if they are competitive processes, they had to access same block of memory or same code, then this race condition can occur. This race condition can be really dangerous as it may result into deadlock or loss of data, which is not very good. So here semaphore comes into our rescue. How semaphores comes into the rescue, as they are used to prevent the race conditions. Semaphores are actually integer variables. There are two types of semaphores, counting semaphores and binary semaphores. They are quite same, though they differ in their domain. Like binary semaphores uses 0 and 1, while counting ranges from minus infinity to plus infinity, but usually we take 0 to infinite. Now, semaphores are used to solve the critical section problem. We'll look by the diagram what is critical section problem and how does semaphores resolve it. It resolves it by using two atomic operation. That is atomic operation. Why? Because they are the basis of all the semaphore processes. They are wait and signal. We'll look into it also. So we can correctly say that semaphores are used for process synchronization. Process synchronization we need because there are multiple processes. Secondly, they want to access same memory block. So for process synchronization, semaphores can be used. Now, as we just saw, there are two atomic processes. One is wait and one is signal. So let's see what is it. Wait, first of all, wait decrements the value of its argument s. S here is the semaphore value. If it is positive, only if it is positive, then it decrements the value of s. If it is 0 or negative, then no operation is performed. So we have a basic idea of how it works. Yes, here it is. It is a code block. We run wait operation, give it the semaphore value as an argument, and while semaphore is less than equal to 0, it decrements the values. Similarly, signal, but it works just the opposite. That is, it increments the value of its argument s. Here semaphore, we'll give it an argument s, semaphore value, and it increments the value by 1. Now, yes, here it is. We'll learn what it is and why we are learning all this. It gives a pictorial representation. See, first of all, let us consider there are some processes. Here I made three processes: process 1, process 2, process 3 in red color, and there is a critical section which have a common code. Now this common code needs to be accessed by all these three processes. So whenever the process needs to access a particular section of this critical block, then it runs a entry code. Entry code is a program that a process needs to run so that it can enter the critical section and access the common code. Without it, it cannot enter. And similarly is the exit code. Exit code is the program that a process runs before it exits the critical section. So now there are two processes, down or wait. Down is sometimes called up also, and wait is also called signal. So let's see what is this. Entry section code or down section code is what? Let's see. Whenever the process needs to access the common code, it has to do so by running a program, that is entry code. What entry code does is that it is a code which takes in the semaphore value, whatever the present semaphore value is, and it decrements the semaphore value. Now if the semaphore value is non-zero, that is positive, the process can access the code, no difficulty. But if the semaphore value is already zero, so after decrement, after the value decrements, it becomes negative. In this case, the process cannot access the common code in the critical section, and therefore it goes to the block stack. For example, in this process, in this scenario, there are three processes, and initial semaphore value is 3. Process 1 comes, it runs the code, semaphore value becomes 2. Similarly, process 2 comes, semaphore value becomes 1. Process 3 comes, semaphore value is still non-negative, so it can also enter. But now after the process 3 enters, semaphore value is 0. Now no more process can enter. So if now process 4 wants to come in, it runs the entry code, but it does not gain access to the common code. Rather, it goes to the block list, because now the semaphore value is less than 0. So sleep operation is performed. That is, that process is blocked. Now, if process 4 wants to access the common code, first of all, any one of the previous processes like process 1, process 2, process 3 needs to run the exit code. For example, let us take process 3. Process 3 runs the exit code. Now the semaphore value is negative. It runs the exit code, so the semaphore value increases. All right, it makes the space. For example, now again process 2 comes out, process 3 comes out. Whenever the process enters, the basic idea is whenever the process enters, it decreases the semaphore values, and whenever the process exit, now the space is left because the process already left, so it increases the semaphore value. And because now the semaphore value is increased, any other process can come and can access the common code. So this is the basic idea. So now, since we have a basic idea of what semaphore is, let us do one question. The question states that the initial semaphore value is 10, and then two down operations are performed. Okay. Initially, the value of semaphore is 10. Then two down operations are performed. One up operation is performed. Then again, two down operation is performed. Then we need to find how many more processes can be performed after these operations. So as we know, two down operations means two process comes in, so that decreases the semaphore value by 1. One up process means the process that was inside the critical block now exited it, and it increased the semaphore value by 1. So the answer here should be 7. Why? Because initially the value of semaphore was 10. After two down operations, the value of semaphore becomes 10 minus 2, that is 8. Now one up operation is performed. That means the two processes which had entered into the critical block, one of the process exited. So again, 8 plus 1, 9 semaphore values. Now the value of semaphore is 9. Then again, two down operations are performed. That means 9 minus 2, 7. The present value is 7. So 7 more processes can access the critical block. Yes. So 7 more down operations can be performed. After seven operations are performed, the value of semaphore becomes 0. So no more entry of processes. Now let us look at the types of semaphores. There are broadly two types of semaphores. One is counting semaphores, and the other is binary semaphores or mutexes. So in counting semaphores, see, all the semaphore basically depends on numbers, right? So in counting semaphores, the range of these numbers can be from minus infinity to plus infinity, but we can take 0 to a very large number plus infinity, and it can only be integer values, not anything else, right? Number line. Now in binary semaphores, the values can be integer and the domain is fixed, that is 0 or 1. Either 0 or 1 can be used in binary semaphores, while in counting semaphores, uh, 2 can be used, 3 can be used, any integer value can be used. Now counting semaphore, let us see what it is. Like, yeah, this diagram can give a basic idea. Whenever the process enters, it increases the semaphore count by 1, and whenever it exits, it decreases the counting, that is the semaphore value by 1. So process 1, process 3, process 2, process 4 are there, so the values are 4. And whenever the process enters, we know that two signals are important: down signal and up signal, or wait signal, or wait or signal, it can be called. So counting semaphore is an integer value. It has an unrestricted value domain, no domain restriction is there, and used to coordinate the resource access semaphore count. See, we have a limit on how many processes can access that particular block. Though multiprocessing is there, but there is a limit, like not more than 10 processes can access the common code. So semaphores is like the guardian. It guards that as the 11th process come and it asks for the same code which is presently being used by the 10 processes. So it restricts the process number 11 and the process goes to block list, as we saw. So see, if in counting semaphore, if the resources are added, semaphore count automatically is incremented, and it is incremented by 1. And if the resources are removed, then the count is decremented and it is decremented by 1. Now let us come to the binary semaphore. Binary semaphore is same as counting semaphore, but it have only two values, 0 and 1. And what is the use of binary semaphore is that, see, if process 1 enters, initially the semaphore value is 1, process 1 enters, now the semaphore value becomes 0. Now process 2 cannot enter, so mutually exclusive these processes becomes. So binary semaphores is useful in this case if you want to achieve mutual exclusiveness. While in counting semaphores, if the value of initial a value is x, so it has no restriction. If the processes enter, the value keeps on increasing, and if the process keeps on decreasing, sorry, and if the process exits the value of semaphore keeps on increasing. So in binary semaphores, the wait operation only works when the semaphore is 1 and the signal operation exceeds when the semaphore is 0. So as we can see, only two values are present, 1 and 0. It has a restricted domain. It is sometimes easier to implement binary semaphores than counting semaphores. Less domain, easier to use. Okay, so this is the code in binary semaphore. Down code means when the process requests to get the access to the common code. If this what it says that if the value of semaphore is 1, it becomes 0, else the process is restricted or it goes to block list. While in upcode is executed when the process leaves the critical section. So it says that if block list is not empty, then the value of semaphore will be 1. Else, see, whenever the process is in the block list, it first comes into the running list and then it gains access. So else wake up call is given to the process that is presently in block list. Okay, question time again. So it's an interesting question. Uh, the question says that we have to find the maximum number of process in critical section that can be there at any given time. Initial value of semaphore is 1 and there are 3 processes. So out of these 3 processes, we have to find what can be the maximum number of process that can remain in the critical section at any given time with the initial value of semaphore as 1. It says that process 1 and process 2 follows this code. That is, when they enter the coding section, they perform down operation, they enter the critical section, and when they exit the critical section, they execute the up operation. While process 3 is a little different, hypothetical. When process 3 enters the critical section, it can do so by running the up code only, and when it exit, it again runs the up code. So the difference is in entry code. Process 1 and process 2, when they want to enter, they have to run the down code, but process 3, when it has to enter the critical section, it has to run the up code. So let's see. What is the answer? The answer is 3. How? See, process 1 will successfully enter the critical section because the initial value of semaphore was 1. So after process 1 enters, it decrements the semaphore value. Now the semaphore value is 0 because it ran the down code, right? Now the semaphore value is 0. Now we have two choices. Either process 2 can enter or process 3 can enter. But in this case, process 2 cannot enter because the value of semaphore is 0 after process 1 entered. And since process 2 executes the down code, and we saw that down code does not work when the semaphore value is 0, the process goes to block list. But we have an alternative. Instead of running process 2, we can run process 3. Why? Because process 3 does not run the down code when it enters, it runs the up code, and the up code increases the semaphore value. A hypothetical question: process 1 enters, process 2 cannot enter because the value of semaphore is 0. So instead process 3 can enter. Process 3 does not have any restriction because process 3 on entry also it runs the up code, that is, it increases the semaphore value, and during exit also it increases the semaphore value. So when process 3 enters, it enters by running the up code. So now the semaphore value becomes 1, and now since the semaphore value becomes 1, process 2 can now enter because process 2 enters using down code. Process 2 comes, process 2 executes the down code, value of semaphore becomes 0. But now three processes are there, all three processes are there in the critical section. So if you follow the order that process 1, process 2, process 3, no, we cannot do that because process 2 needs semaphore value which is greater than 0. But if you run in this order, process 1, process 3, process 2, then it is the correct way, and maximum 3 processes can remain in the critical section. Now we'll see some advantages and then disadvantages of the semaphore. First of all, semaphore allow only one process into critical section. Means, as we saw in especially in binary semaphore, we saw that when one process enters, the semaphore value becomes 0. Now no more process can enter. So mutual exclusion principle is strictly followed. It's good also, it prevents race condition. So there is no resource wastage because of busy waiting in semaphores, as processor time is not wasted unnecessarily to check if the condition is fulfilled to allow the process to access the critical section. See, whenever the process comes, then explicitly the computer does not have to, the operating system does not have to see whether this process can come or not. It does not have to go through entire section of the critical code to find whether the space is there, whether the process can come or not. With semaphore value, it can make the decision whether the process is allowed to enter or not based on a single semaphore value. So it becomes very easy. semaphore are implemented in the machine independent code of the microkernel. So they are machine independent. So this is self-explanatory. The semaphores are not machine dependent, but can run on different machines. But there are some disadvantages too, like semaphores are complicated. See, semaphores are complicated because there are various calls involved, like wait, signal. Each time the process has to come, it has to execute certain code, down code. Each time the process has to exit, it has to execute certain code, the up code. So it must be implemented in the correct order to prevent deadlocks. Now they are impractical for large scale use, as their use leads to loss of modularity. This happens because the wait and signal operations prevent the creation of a structured layout for the system. Now, last is semaphores may lead to priority inversion. See, semaphores are just concerned with the semaphore value. So even if the low priority process can enter earlier than higher priority process, because it depends only on the semaphore value. If the low priority process gets the semaphore value which is greater than 0, non-zero value, it will enter. But after the low priority process, if the value of semaphore becomes 0, then whatever the process is, whatever its priority is, that cannot enter, because it has to execute the down code. And for down code to execute, for accessing the critical section, the value of semaphore should be greater than 0. So that's all. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much.